Government astronomer Jamie Biggs joins us now to tell us a little bit more about what's going on above our heads. Good morning, Jamie.
Morning, Jason. Morning, Anita. Good morning, Perth.
So, Dr. James, now then, NASA Phoenix lander has arrived on our neighbour. How exciting is that for someone like yourself who spends a bit of time looking at what's going on in the sky?
This is an important step in the study of Mars. They've had a lot of landers and probes land around the equatorial temperate so-called regions. This is the first one to get up near the polar regions. It's the equivalent of putting a probe on Greenland on Earth, if you know what I mean. So it's up at about nearly 70 degrees north latitude. Yeah, they haven't really studied the environment up there.
So, what's the latest then? They lobbed up, what, 2 days ago now?
Yeah, the reason we're studying, NASA has invested about $400 million in this, is that they really want to know the climate on Mars, and basically they're doing this project called Follow the Water, and there's strong evidence that there's ice, water in the solid state, underneath the surface in the northern regions, and it gets more concentrated the further north you go. And this could be important, say, for harbouring life. However, I've got to tell you, they're not actually trying to find life. These instruments that they have are not sensitive to that. All they can do is find out, is this a place where life might have formed? And the ulterior motive is to try and work out, is this Mars going to be a reasonable place for, say, human colonisers to live? It's a preparatory step. Really,
what's going on?
Sorry?
That's really what's going on. Could we build somewhere to live here?
Yeah, but and to know that, you need to know how much water, because that's really essential for humans, and also you need to know really details of the climate. And is there possibly other life on there that could affect us? But they're not going to be able to detect life, just the conditions for life.
Jamie, why another planet? Like, I mean, there's lots of room on our planet. Why are we looking...
Anita, that's not what we're talking about today.
But, like, why?
Because we're breaking this one.
Yeah.
Good question.
Good question. Yeah, there's a lot of people on the Earth, but no.
I mean, like, why are you doing this? Yeah, why are you putting so much money in?
Well, when you think about it, it's only about half a day's worth of expenditure in the war in Iraq, It's, and I think the results are a little bit better. However, I am one of the sceptics that don't like manned, as it were, exploration of the planets just yet. It's too dangerous, actually, quite frankly, and they really haven't nutted out how you're going to get someone to Mars to do some exploring and then get them back. It is actually quite fraught, and it will take over 2 years, basically, to get there and back. Robots do a lot better job, and these landers and the rovers, they are really, they're doing a fantastic job. And if they do break, there's not too many tears. It's only just a loss of money.
Well, that's one big difference, of course, with this current project and the previous rover project, is the equipment landed and worked.
Indeed, yeah. About half the probes don't work or don't even hit the planet.
Because there's a 15-minute radio lapse time. So basically, once the landing craft is 15 minutes away from, and we're talking probably travelling tens of thousands of miles an hour at that point.
Yep.
So as it's 15 minutes away, hurtling towards Mars, well, they just got to cross their fingers, do their sums, hope it's right, let it go.
Yeah, it's pretty much all automated, quite frankly, all the way down. It's got clever computer programs. They've simulated using past experience and by using all the computers they can, and it worked, and it usually does work.
Well, let's start having a look at some of these pictures that we've got coming up, because, as you said, it's a lot better to send a robot. They didn't send any people. Now
that's the lander. It's about 2 to 3 metres across, and the two little side tables they're actually solar panels, and it's coming up to spring, summer in the North Pole, so its solar power is useful. It's got an arm with a digger, and that's going to do some scraping of soils.
An evolved gas analyzer.
Yep, and that's going to, you put samples in this evolved gas analyzer. It's got a whole lot of little chambers, and one chamber at a time, and that's actually the first scoop. It's a test scoop of soil in the, and it's also, there's a camera on the arm, and you can see some white patches. They don't know what that is, and they're not going to find out. This is just a test scoop, but it could be ice or it could be salt, or it could be something else.
Looks like lime to me, when you mix up your concrete.
Yeah.
There's a footprint.
Is that the Yeti footprint? Yeah.
Okay, so what is that? Like,
That's a heel mark. It has to be, Jamie. Look at it.
No, what that is
Neil Armstrong was there
the
earlier.
arm was being tested, and what you do is you don't just go and dig straight away. Though they do want to get into the science straight away. They've only got 3 months is the notional time span. But what they did was they gently lowered the arm out and they measured, because you can't actually see how far. It could be that the ground is sloping, and you don't want to drive the arm into it and break it, and therefore you lose half your science.
So that was the how far away is it test run.
That's right.
Okay, no emails about life on Mars.
That's right. And there's a view under the lander. You can see its legs, and there's a lightish coloured rock there. It's probably an overexposed rock, but they do think that somewhere under there they've got a hint that there's a slab of ice potentially under there. Oh, there's the Yeti footprint. That's the real Yeti footprint. Now, if pictures are worth 1,000 words, this will be worth 1,000 rumours and for NASA, but no, that's just the shape that the little arm, the robotic arm made when they were doing the testing.
Anyone who has ever driven a back-end loader or one of those backhoe things would have seen that exact same mark in the dirt underneath them at some point when they rest their arm down.
Oh, well, yeah, well put, and that's what it is. There's no other footprints. They didn't take a Yeti with them, nor did they find one. So, don't start the rumours. It's just a test.
You heard it first here on Wake Up WA. There's no Yetis on the Mars.
Stuff, Jamie. This is
and also, another thing they're going to be doing is looking at the polar weather. They've got weather sensors. They've got a little radar laser that's going to be looking at the aerosols and the dust in the so-called polar atmosphere.
Why?
Because they haven't studied that.
Reasons?
Well, you just want to know the whole environmental parameters, and you hit it with all the weather sensing equipment that you can. Apparently, the weather has been, on average, a nice, comfortable -50, and it goes down to about -100 and up to about -20 at this time, as determined by the Phoenix lander.
That would explain why none of the water's in its liquid form.
That's right, yeah. It's rather cold. And but what they hope to do is find out, was there a big sea? And so they're going to have a scrape and a scrape and a scrape and study, scrape, going to eventually get as far as they can and see if there's any changes as a function of depth. Is there salt in the water?
How far is
What's
that,
to see?
Jamie? How far can it possibly go?
I think they hope to go something like 20 centimetres into the soil.
Yeah, okay, so we're not talking about the
No, it's not going to be a trench.
or anything.
No, it's not going to go to the core of Mars. No, it's just only scratching the surface, literally. But the indications are, and it's indirect, that there is a great sort of amount of ice under, probably interweaved with rock and sand, and the sandy material as you saw in that earlier image. It's all probably intertwined. Anyway, they want to find out the details of the chemical composition of that, and is there organic type material, and that could indicate that there is, as it were, food for things that maybe have lived in the past or maybe currently living, but it's hard to know. However, life is, you can find life in Antarctic regions, so even though this is rather extreme and cold, it is possible, but they are not actually going to search for life, only conditions that possibly harbour life.
Build a bigger picture.
So this is all very fascinating. Is there anything on a website, or can people go to find out all these findings and from where you are so far?
Yeah, what you can do is you just do a Google search on Mars Phoenix, and you'll end up at the NASA website. NASA have.
Is that all the updated stuff?
Oh yeah, they give you a blog and they tell you how many hours, days it's been on Mars.
It's NASA.
Okay.
Yeah, it's NASA, and they blast out all the images, give you an interpretation. They even have blogs from the mission scientists. You can go to the University of Arizona's Phoenix website. They're the actual lead organisation that are now about to take control, and they also have a similar sort of website, similar but different.
Stuff. Well, we'll have all those links up on our website, wakeupwa.com.au. I'm going to check it out because I'm a bit like, whoa, at the moment. But thank you, Dr. Jamie Biggs, for coming and joining us and enlightening us. You'll be back next time, hopefully, to tell us more what's happening in the night.
Yes, I'll let you know what's in the night sky.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Beautiful. Thank you for joining us. We've got to go to a quick break. We'll be back with more What Women Want after this.